Music is the soundtrack of the soul. And that's how I've always looked at it. Just like tears are the expression of words we can't articulate. And I look at music as being the soundtrack to the soul. So I've always wanted to make music that would help people.
How did you get into music, man? How did it start for you when you're coming up? Where does music hit you first in your life?
My mother was probably like, the sad part of the story is my mother always struggled with mental health issues and addiction. And she didn't leave much at all when I was a kid. She was a recluse. She never really left the house. And she would her making it to the kitchen table was kind of like a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
And you'd walk in the house and Mom would be at the kitchen table and she'd have a cigarette lit and she'd be sitting on a wood chair, Indian style, right there in the kitchen back when you could smoke it. Back when restaurants had smoking sections. Smoking inside places was a thing, you know? And she'd be there smoking a cigarette and she'd have a record playing. And she'd just have her eyes closed and I could tell that the music was doing something to her, man. Like, I just remember watching her and thinking, man, this music's like, whatever that is helping her, you know? Or she'd play like Bette Midler, The Rose, and cry. I could still hear in my head, play this at my funeral. And to this day, if you play Bette Midler, The Rose right now, I might tear up. And she'd be like, play this at my funeral, Jelly, play this at my funeral, baby Jason. And she'd just smoke a cigarette. And I just remember thinking, man, I want to make people feel the way this makes my mother feel. That's the songwriting aspect of it, right? That was what ignited the songwriter in me. Now, the influences are cool because I was the baby, right? I was the youngest.
How many?
2 brothers, 1 sister, and my sister, who she's still with to this day, was with then. So she's been with this man 30-something years. He pretty much lived with us from her high school years up. So I say I had 3 brothers. 2 brothers, a brother-in-law that lived with us, and a sister. And we always had some broke cousin on the couch or broke family, and in the living room with blow-up mattresses or something. This was just some
future convict.
Yeah, this is our current convict or somebody on the run from the police. We had that kind of a house. When I got in the car with anybody, because I was the baby, I had no fucking control of the radio dial. I was the last motherfucker that got to pick the radio station.
Yeah, and it was so important. You got in the car. Who got to pick the radio?
Who got to pick the radio, right? I had one brother named Scott that's the middle older that was a straight gangster rap guy. Like Tupac, Biggie, like the more gangster, the better.
What was he dating white chicks still, or how gangster was he?
He was everywhere. Yeah, his dick didn't discriminate. He was a man.
Yeah.
We get in the car and all these different radio stations would play. So like one brother be gangster rap. My sister listened to like nothing but Metallica or Stone Temple Pilots. Yeah, for sure. Like fucking Nirvana when they first came out. This was all huge.
Oh yeah.
And then I had another brother listen to like super hip hop shit, like Biz Markie kind of shit, Wu-Tang shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then Dad would listen to either jazz or back then like singer-songwriter stuff, like James Taylor, Jim Croce. My mother listened to Motown, oldies, and like outlaw country music.
Dang.
So it's like every room I'd walk into or everywhere I'd go, it'd be some different music playing. So when people are like, dude, you kind of do all kind of music. So I'm like, I'm a fucking human jukebox, man. I grew up in I didn't get to pick a music I liked and get to play it because I didn't fucking, everybody else had their genre of music and their world, but me. I didn't have like a place I could go listen to what I wanted to listen to. So I just had to listen to whatever fucking room I walked in.
Yeah, that's funny. The younger brother is kind of that ear victim, bro.
Yeah,
it's like whatever you start to get into whatever anybody else is into. I never thought about that. The older brother really gets to pick the radio, and that kind of shapes the younger brother a little bit.
Sure, dude.
It's like if my brother's listening to Dr. Dre, then I'm all Dre'd up. I'm buying that T-shirt with the weed 100%. Leaves. And when he switches to Nirvana, dude, I'm cutting my wrist, 100. But not with sharp silverware.
Yeah. I didn't get to get in the car and be like, I really want to listen to 107.5 The River. Nobody gave a fuck what I wanted to listen to, Like,
we didn't even know you could talk.
I tell you the first cassette tape I ever got given. I got all these gifts for Christmas, and then they were like, we got one last gift from you, and this is from your brothers and sisters. And I was like, oh, this is probably going to be the coolest gift ever. And they gave me a little bitty package, and it was a cassette tape, and it was Rex and Effects Rump Shaker.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is gangster. And I remember at that moment, it was something that was finally mine. Because Mama had bought me a boombox, and Daddy bought me a boombox, but I didn't have nothing to play in it yet.
Yeah.
So then my brother, and they did the coolest thing besides that. And then when they handed me the Rex and Effects tape, then they handed me 5 blank cassette tapes. And I said, what are these for? And they were like, we're going to show you how to record songs off the radio. You remember this era?
Oh,
right?
yeah,
When you put the
man.
cassette tape in, listen, for all of y'all that want to know how old I am, I'm that fucking old.
Top 10, when that top 10
yeah,
came
you'd
on?
go to the top 10 and you'd wait for the perfect moment for the song to start, and then you'd hit the play and record button.
You got to get it just
right, because you didn't want to hear the radio
No.
DJ or the skip. You wanted just the song, then you stop right there.
Yeah.
And you play it for one more second so there was a space between the two songs.
God.
And then you'd hit it again. You know, or you call and request a song that wasn't popular yet, and you'd have to wait for hours for them to play it.
They're like, who's this donkey?
Yeah, and they taught me that. So I started making like mixed cassette tapes. And I knew I was on to something different then, because like I'd get in the car and find out, I got a cassette tape. They're like, we don't care about your cassette tape, but please play it. And it would like go from like rap to something else. And the brother would be like, what the fuck is that? I'd be like, well, Shelby taught me about this song.
So everybody got happy. So you really were like a jukebox.
Yeah. Oh, to this day, man, you'll play very few songs that I'm not like, yeah, I know that era.
How did you get into the music then?
I started writing raps young, just because I didn't think I had a cool voice to sing, you know, and nobody in the family sang to teach me to sing. So I would write like raps, and that was obviously like, I don't know how much of that we caught earlier, but that was the language of the community. Hip hop was the language of the neighborhood. You know, it was a super mixed community. I grew up like you. You know what I'm saying? Like a super
Well, it always
mixed
is. A
community.
poor neighborhood, man. It's really, because black shit is cool usually. So
For
it's
sure.
like black shit always is the cool shit.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
No, it's, to this day, hip hop has influenced every genre of music on earth, whether people want to admit it or not. I hear it the most in country music.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear hip hop melodies, hip hop drums, 808s. That is just so prevalent in country music. But, you know, hip hop was the language of the community. So that was kind of what I got into first. And I'd freestyle at tables, and in Juvenile, I'd freestyle battle people. I fell in love with songwriting through the process of writing raps. I was boxed into being a freestyle rapper.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want to be known for that. So I started writing like songs. And all of my choruses were really soulful, and I'd rap the verses. I had a song called, you pull up Jelly Roll Riding All Alone. And I had this record called Riding All Alone. And it was really slow. And me and Little White, first of all, Little White from 3 6 Mafia, you probably remember Oxycontin, Xanax Bar, Percocets, and Lower Tabs. Still one of my best friends to this day. And when I first came home from
Memphis,
jail,
huh?
Yeah. He's Memphis as fuck too. When I first came home from jail, we did a song together, and Juicy J and DJ Paul ended up 3 6 Mafia producing an album with me, White, and a guy named B. Peasy. But outside of the first song I put out with him, I started putting out these super like soulful joints like this. Maybe go to like the minute mark or something. I just want you to hear the chorus so you can kind of get a feel for where I'm coming from here. And see, this was released in 2010. Right, so this is, you know, fucking 12 years ago, right?
I just keep on smoking like fuck it, I'm prepared to die. Say a prayer, cause Lord, if you're there, gotta
right here.
send me a
Watch this. Check this out, Theo.
I swear.
I'd just be riding all alone. You can stop right there, Hanson. But it's
Dang,
like,
baby.
Yeah, but
Damn.
it's like this, you know, 12, 13 years ago, right? Because if it went to YouTube,
that would be good. Now that would be good now. I mean, that's good now.
Yeah.
So then
I didn't realize I was singing that chorus. Right? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't register to me that I was singing, because I wouldn't like open up and sing it. You know what I mean? So I just kind of like did this like talk sing thing because I wasn't confident in my voice. So I've kind of always knew, and this is something else I'm glad I got to show this to a platform as big as yours, because the therapeutic music that I make now that's so personal has always been my approach to music.
hope you enjoyed that video, and you can watch another. And you can watch this one, you can watch this one. Different options, different choices. Some guy just brings you one option, not this guy. 2 options. Watch one, this one or this one.